1, 2, 3, tuning into what's hot like a cup of tea. The Burp is live, it's time to feast with BLT Icon bringing you the heat. Static on the dial and the crackle in the air, feeling like a rebel in the days wear and tear. The BLT Icon's pouring out the noise, tuning into the Burp with the glitch and poise. Let's go!
Banter mixed with a dash of wild, keep your brainwaves swilling, keep your thoughts unfiled. Nothing is too strange, no tale is taboo. Catch up with the icons, there's always something new. Hot takes cooler than a summer breeze, hidden gems uncovered with the greatest ease. Let us take the stage and give an introduction. This is the Burp by the Balls Rolling Productions.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burp, presented to you by the Balls Rolling Productions. This is episode 4, and we have a very specific episode for you guys today. It's called Football is King. We all know this. Football kind of is everything in American sports, we'll say. Right now, it is dominating the landscape of sports and entertainment completely, as we have the NFL finishing up their regular season, going into the playoffs. We're going to do a deep dive into the playoff seedings, what we feel about the division winners, what we think might happen through these playoffs in the NFL. A little later on, we're going to circle back to the NFL, and we're going to talk about possible MVPs now that the season is over. But in between then, we're going to actually also talk about a little bit of college football. College football in its first ever 12-team playoff seeding season ever. So we're going to talk a little bit about how that has been going. We're going to talk about the semifinals now, the last four games in college football, until we get to the national not 3 games, sorry. 2 semis, 1 final. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to finish up with some trivia after NFL MVP talk. But again, today is purely based on football. American football is king, whether it's the NFL or whether it's the NCAA. As always, how do we start this off, boys? What are we drinking? What do you got, Luca?
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. Okay. Billy, what are you drinking?
Still tasting the Rockies, guys.
Still tasting the Rockies. All right.
Attaboy.
Yep. Still repping the Corona because I'm still waiting on Vin Diesel to come say hi to me sometime. Apparently, as per the Golden Globes the other night, though, he's still too busy with Dwayne Johnson. So might have to drink a few more Coronas to get his attention. But
You just got to do The Rock's whole workout. He'll get you confused as him.
Bro, I'm not going to eat 74 pancakes for breakfast and then work it off for the next 2 days. So, whatever. I may still eat 74 pancakes. I don't know if you guys have seen me, but the working out part thing is not going to happen. So, speaking of eating, right, we just got through the holidays. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you guys had a happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever that your family celebrates. I hope you guys had a good one. How was your holidays there, Billy?
Busy. I had a couple weeks just to be off with everybody, but seeing everybody just in a matter of days and running around all over the state was a lot. But it was good to see everybody. Glad to be back to normal.
Back to normal, right? That's a part of it too. Yeah, all the craziness, the hustle and bustle, as my father-in-law would say. But it's a sense of getting back to normal. Also feels pretty good. How about you, Luca?
For me, it was the opposite. I was quite quiet. Family went back up to Wisconsin, so I just hung out at the in-laws, ate a ton of tamales. I still have to work that off. But overall, quiet. Got no complaints. It was nice.
Very cool. Ours was awesome. We were in the state of Florida for our Christmas. We went to Disney for a couple days. We're a big Disney family. We also spent a little bit of time in Tampa. Got to go to Raymond James Stadium and get to their pro shop and take a little meander around there. So 75 and sunny, amazing. I'm going to live in that state in about the next 7.5 years. So that's going to happen. But otherwise, the holidays were amazing again. Got some good time with the family. And it was just nice to chill for a little bit, right? So, but this is not a time to chill. This is absolutely a time to get all worked up about the NFL playoffs. So let's do a little bit of talking about the NFL, the end of the regular season, division winners, and playoffs and playoff seeding. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's start with our division winners in the AFC. In the AFC, we had the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the AFC West. The Buffalo Bills won the AFC East. Baltimore Ravens won the AFC North. And the Houston Texans did hang on to get the AFC South. Did you guys envision any of these when the year started? Luca, start with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, all of them. I thought I expected more out of the Texans though with Diggs. I thought and Mixon, I thought they were gonna just go off the rails. I did not see the Chiefs doing as well as they did. And the Ravens, I thought they were gonna be just a hair bit better than what they are. Other than that, yeah. I saw all that breaking down.
Okay. Billy, what about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I feel everybody that's in the AFC, ones that won, typical. Figured the Chiefs are going to win. Bills are going to win. Not surprised.
Do we feel the Chiefs should be 15-2 or 15-1? 16-1, sorry. 17 games a season now? Yeah. Or 15-2. Sorry, they did lose their last game. Do we feel that they should have gotten 15 wins, or do you guys feel that maybe there was a little bit of help from other referees? I don't want the NFL to find me.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can.
Chiefs, I don't get fined.
I think you kind of like said it right then and there. They were not a 15-2 team.
So
No way.
that leads me to my next question for you guys. Are the best four teams the top four teams, if that makes sense, in the AFC?
No.
Okay. So as your wild cards, you got the Chargers. They're the 5 seed. The Steelers are the 6, and the Broncos are the 7. Do one of those teams have a chance to upset some of those top fours? And who would they be? Billy, what do you got?
I think the Steelers could take the Texans.
Okay. Steelers could take the Texans. What do you got, Luca?
I got I'm going to think of first round. I got the Chargers upsetting the Texans in the first round.
Okay. All right. So you got Chargers over Texans, then
mhm.
Steelers, Ravens, Broncos, Bills. Feel pretty safe about those. Bills over the Broncos, Ravens over the Steelers.
I mean, after that first set of, I like the Ravens. I also got some spreads here too. I see the Ravens winning their game. I see the Bills winning their game. Nothing too crazy there, especially with those spreads being as high as they are. The only major upset I really got is the Chargers, and they're favored. They're not even an underdog in the game. So with the -3 spread currently, I think they're going to win.
All right. Quick question for you guys. I know, Bill, you're going to do trivia. I have a trivia question of my own for the two of you right here. Hopefully it's not one that you have. So in the history of the Denver Broncos, and that's been roughly 65 years, there's been one quarterback drafted by the Denver Broncos who has won a playoff game while with the Broncos. So drafted by the Broncos and won a playoff game. Bo Nix has a chance to be the second this next week. So who was that first person to do it?
Oh, that's an easy one.
I think I know the answer.
Okay, shout it out.
John Elway.
No.
So it is not John Elway. John Elway wasn't drafted by the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Baltimore Colts at that time, I think. Sorry.
It's the only other guy who could take a knee without getting taken off the field. His name is Tim Tebow.
Here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Skipper got him free to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver.
Tim Tebow is the correct answer. So out of the history of the Denver Broncos, Tim Tebow is the only one to be drafted by the Broncos and win a playoff game. Everyone else was either drafted by another team or just didn't win playoff games.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
quick little nugget there. Sorry.
Yeah. Definitely like being the trivia quiz master on the other side. That's hard being put on the spot. Question.
Right. All right, perfect. So, just to recap of the AFC, we're moving right along here, though. But we have the Chiefs are on a bye; they're the 1 seed, so we're not going to see them till 2 weeks. The 2-seeded Bills are going up against the 7-seeded Broncos. I think we're all kind of in agreement here that the Bills should take care of the Broncos here. Then we got the 3-seeded Ravens taking on the 6-seeded Steelers. I think all of us are on the Ravens to beat the Steelers here. Finally, though, we have the Texans and the Chargers, where we have 4-seeded Texans, 5-seeded Chargers. Luca, you're with the Chargers. Billy, what were you thinking on that game?
Yeah, so I'm just going to back up one little bit. So when I said Steelers over Texans, I meant it more not matchups. I meant more like seedings. Like I feel like the Steelers are a more underappreciated 6 seed where they could have maybe been a 4 seed. That's what I meant. But I'm still going to go with Chargers. I think Chargers are sneaky good, and their coach has a lot of good success. He turned pretty much every team that he coached around to winning respectable teams, and I got the Chargers as well.
Okay. So this will be the only one that we differ on here because I'm going to go Texans. I really think that they're going to be able to pull out a win here. They've had a little bit of playoff experience now where the Chargers, not so much. I think this is Justin Herbert's first playoff game. Someone can fact check me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think we're going to see the Texans pull this one out, but I think it's going to be a very close game. So, that's finishing up the AFC, looking at the playoff matchups there. So let's jump right into the NFC, shall we? NFC, this is what we got. The Lions. So division winners, the Lions, it took all 18 weeks, but they got that win over the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. So the Lions are the 1 seed. Did they get they were 15-2, right? Not 16-1, 15-2. Okay. Then the 2 seed was the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then the 4 seed is the LA Rams. So those are your division winners. Is that what we thought was going to happen?
I mean, it was a toss-up for a little bit there between the Bucks and the Falcons. I mean, Falcons, I think, had it for quite a bit up until the Bucks just Baker went off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for division winners, they are who we thought they were.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Division winners. So, yeah, they did good. I like it.
Billy, what about you? What are your thoughts on the 4 division winners here?
I think it is what it is. I figured the Lions were going to win the division. Speaking of the Bucks, I like the hat. T West, it's a great hat.
Yep.
I think the Bucks won their division 4 years in a row, so I kind of had them winning the NFC South anyhow. Panthers were trash, Saints were trash. Falcons kind of blew it. That one surprised me. Who else we got? What you say, Eagles?
Yep. Eagles won the East. And then you got the Rams winning the West.
Yeah, I guess the West was probably my wild card. I think the Seahawks could have gave them a run for their money. And I don't know. I kind of feel like I always root for the Cardinals too, just because that's where Luke is at now. So I kind of always find myself rooting for them. But so I guess that was my wild card because I think that would have been a toss up for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of on board a lot here with what you guys, this is kind of what we thought it would be. I definitely had the Buccaneers. I thought they were going to run away with that division a little bit more. I didn't think the Falcons were going to do as good as they did. Granted, they got Kirk Cousins. However, I just didn't think they were there yet. So I think they showed themselves at the end of the year. I think they're going to be okay with Michael Penix Jr. The Rams did surprise me a little bit with the way their injuries were coming on early, but they finished off the year really strong. They're going to be a hard team to beat in the playoffs. They're coming in healthy. Everyone had a chance to rest this last Sunday, but so I'm kind of in line with you guys. Division winners, kind of what we thought they might be. So let's go into the playoffs now, into the first round of the NFC playoffs. Obviously, the Lions, they don't got to play this week. They got the bye seed. They got the bye. They got the 1 seed. So everything runs through Detroit now. Ford Field, everybody's indoors. People are going to probably actually enjoy that. 2 versus 7, Eagles, Packers. There's a little. I just want to talk about this one a little bit here because this reminds me of 2010, going back to that conspiracy and script writing, right? Like the Packers had to go into Philadelphia in 2010. They were the last seed to get in. They were the sixth seed at that time. There were only six playoff teams, but they went into Philadelphia and they beat a Michael Vick led team. Here we go again. Now we're the 7 going into the 2, which is Philadelphia. What are you guys thinking about this game? Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more about this one. We're homegrown Packer fans. So, Billy, give me your thoughts on this game.
Pains me a little bit to say this, but I don't think the Packers pull it off. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I did like what I saw the past couple of games from the Packers, especially last week's game. They couldn't even pull it off against the Bears. I feel like the play calling wasn't the best. Love wasn't playing as good as expected. Personally, I don't think he's living up to his $55 million contract or whatever it is. I just feel like they're just not there. I feel like they're a young team. I think they're good. I think they have a lot of talent. I just think they have to grow yet and still develop that chemistry.
You know, if this were around the horn, I'd have given you like 8 points there. I'd have been hitting like 8 points.
I still want my 8 points. Give me some points
right,
for not
you get 8
getting
points.
the Elway thing wrong.
All right, perfect. Luca, give me your stance on this game.
I mean, Billy, give me those 8 points. I mean, I agree with you. We don't know which Packer team's going to show up. We don't know which coaching staff is going to show up because either they are on point or they're like last week. We need to pressure the quarterback. Van Ness, you're a first-round pick. Get to the quarterback, please. Wrap them up. I think after that, they're not going to be able to run the ball, and everything gets easy after that. But, yeah, play calls and pressure the QB, and we got a chance. I'm picking the Packers at +4. I think they can do it. That's because I drink the Kool-Aid.
All right. No, that's fair. I'll give you a couple points, around the horn points. I just want to add a couple things if I can. One of these is a gripe. I'm still not over the last 2 minutes of that Bears game. I don't know why in the world we were hustling and snapping the ball with 20 seconds left on the play clock. And we didn't even force the Bears to use that last time out. We were just, I don't know where we were on that. I don't know where our coaching staff was. You had Malik Willis in there. It's a 2-minute drill. We all practice it. Well, we don't, but they all practice it, right? So I expected more. So I'm not over the play calling at the end of that game. We were in position to win. Our defensive play calling, we were there and back to protect against the Hail Mary, which I don't think there ever was the plan. They wanted to get the middle of the field, and that's what we opened up to them. Obviously, we want to keep them away from the sidelines, but I don't think you want Carrington Ballantyne on DJ Moore backing off, as soon as he breaks his route. So again, that's my gripe. I am wholeheartedly a Monday morning quarterback, and I understand I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just upset. So as a fan, I feel I get to be upset. Now I'm going to plant a little seed here. A little hot take for you, maybe. And this may grow depending upon what happens this weekend with Jordan Love's forearm or his elbow. Is there a quarterback controversy starting to take root with Jordan Love and Malik Willis? Okay, so I think Malik was 10 of 13 for like 160 yards. Jordan Love was having a rough go of it. He does not do well against the blitz or pressure. Malik Willis didn't look amazing, but he looked more pro ready. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I'm just going to leave that hot take right there. And then let's finish up with the rest of the playoffs. So jumping into the next game is the 3-seeded Buccaneers against the 6-seeded Commanders, who are led by rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. I don't think anybody thought that the Commanders were going to be at this point this soon. New head coach, new quarterback. Here we go. So, Billy, what do you got with Buccaneers and Commanders? What are your thoughts?
That's tough. That's tough. I do like both teams. I still think the Bucs pull it off. I think they're hot. I think Baker's playing lights out. I think he's having one of his best years ever. I think they have the experience. And I think it's going to be a close game, though. My prediction is it's going to be a very close game, but I think the Bucks pull it off.
Okay, very cool. Luca, what's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, whichever team shows up, flip a coin. The one thing I did have highlighted, if you are a gambling man, the over is 50.5. It's going to be a high scoring game. It's whoever has the ball last, I think, wins it. It's going to be that close. I did write down the Bucks, but not covering the spread.
Okay. I'm going to agree with both of you guys here. I do think it's the Buccaneers as well. Again, you have just a young Commanders team. Again, very good Commanders team. They both have running quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, going to be rookie of the year. Should be. Well, deservedly so. But I think the Buccaneers have the experience. I mean, last year they went into Philadelphia and they beat the Eagles. They were close to beating the Lions. So I'm going to go Buccaneers. So finally, last game of Wild Card Weekend for the NFC is the 4-seeded Rams against the 14-3, 5-seeded Vikings. Thoughts on that, Luca?
That's going to be a really close game. I got the Vikings still suck. Let's get that out there. No matter how good they are, they still suck. And I got them winning, but it's only because of Aaron Jones. I think he carries that team. I think he saves Sam Darnold, and somehow pulls that team into a win. I think he has like a career game. I really think so.
Okay, Billy, what do you got?
I think Vikings win as well. As much as I hate to say that, but I'm kind of with Luca, except I'm going to say I think Justin Jefferson goes off. I think they correct their mistakes from the game against the Lions. I feel like Darnold gets his accuracy back. They come back with a vengeance, and I think they show up and they pull it out.
Okay, fair. This is the one game I'm going to differ from you guys. I think the Rams are going to win this one, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think
all right.
Stafford is going to disperse the ball to Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. He's got all these, Tyler Higbee, right? He's got all these weapons out there. And I think it's going to be more of a ball control passing offense. And they're going to force Sam Darnold to have to throw the ball a lot, right? Like they're not going to have time to run it with Aaron Jones. They might try to dump off to Aaron Jones, but I think you got a healthy Rams team coming in, and I think they're going to control the ball through the air. You don't often hear that. You don't often talk about it, but when you got Stafford throwing to Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, I think you're going to have that sort of ball control because these guys are slant and go guys. They're quick outs. You know, they're getting the ball 8, 9, 10 yards, second and short, third and short, and they're just going to control the ball that way. So then all of a sudden now you're forcing Sam Darnold. Are you getting New York Jets Sam Darnold, or are you getting Minnesota Vikings Sam Darnold when he's got to throw from behind to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? They're going to score, but I don't think it's enough to overtake the Rams. So I'm going to go Rams on this one.
I like it.
Good points. Good points. I can definitely see that happening. And even though I said Vikings, I hope you're right, dude.
Yeah, I kind of hope you're right too.
So I'm absolutely anticipating a crazy wild card weekend. I think that's why they like to emphasize the wild and the wild card. It's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. Of course, they're going to just rule the roost. You know, it's going to be NFL viewership over everybody. But the other king in this is the NCAA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have their own playoffs going on right now. And now this isn't the first year for the NCAA football playoffs. However, this is the first year they have a 12-team format. So I'm going to just kind of go over this real quick, talking about like you had your first round, you had everyone else was on a bye, like your top 4 teams were on a bye for the second round. Now we're into the third round. First round, there were some interesting teams that made it. SMU made it. Indiana made it. So SMU was an 11 seed. Indiana was a 10 seed. Clemson was in at a 12 seed. Tennessee, 9 seed, right? So those are your last 4 in, basically. So they came in. They were playing number 5, Texas was going up against Clemson. Texas won that game fairly easily, 38-12. Number 6, Penn State was going up against number 11, SMU. They won fairly handily, 38-10. Notre Dame. Notre Dame handled Indiana very easily, 27-17. And then number 8, Ohio State beat up on Tennessee. So that was the first round, first set of games. The quarterfinal was where you saw the traditional bowl games, the Sugar Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach Bowl, and the Rose Bowl. So Notre Dame, who was the 7th seed, was going up against the 2 seed Georgia. Georgia had a bye week. Georgia got beat. Notre Dame got to keep going on. So they won 23-10. Penn State went ahead and beat Boise State. Boise State was a 3 seed, so they had a bye as well. They were in the Fiesta Bowl. Penn State won 31-14. Texas. Actually, I'm going to come back to this one because I think you guys have some good points for this one. Let's come back to that one, but let's talk about number 1 seeded Oregon going up against Ohio State. Again, Oregon had a bye. This was the Rose Bowl. Ohio State, as the 8, came in and just beat up on Oregon. I think they won 41-21. So the point I want to make here before I get to talking about Arizona State, Texas, is just the fact that I think the playoff is working, because Ohio State would have been an 8 seed and they would not have been in the top 4. So they would have not made the playoffs. But now that you have the playoffs, I think it's working. So just a quick note on that. And then finishing up with that, the quarterfinals, basically. So the Fiesta Bowl, or I'm sorry, the Peach Bowl was Texas beating Arizona State 39-31 in 2 OTs. And I know you guys I've been talking for a while here. Go. Luca, Billy, take it.
Go, Luca.
All right. I think
Go, Luca. Go.
You know what? I wanted to complain about the seating, but I think the teams that needed to be there are there. And going into that Texas ASU game, holy cow, what a great game. The first X amount of quarters were just garbage for ASU, so forget all that. But the way that game ended, I was on the edge of my couch. I'm not a huge ASU fan, even though I live just down the street from it. But it was really cool to see him do good. And that running back, Scat, man, that kid is talented. I hope he goes high in the draft. I really do.
He won't. And that's not to be mean. I think he should as well, because he's a genuine football player.
Yeah.
But his measurables, he's not a robot, right? Like, he's not that machine that they expect on the field. But no, he was exciting to watch. Old school, genuine football player. Sorry, I was talking again. Billy, you go.
No, have at it. I will say that college football is not my forte. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about these changes, but what I will say is that you make a good point, T. West, with seeding and Ohio State. They weren't even so. If it was how it was last year, they wouldn't even made the playoffs or a bowl game or anything.
Right.
So
they wouldn't have made the playoff bowl games, nothing like that.
Yeah, so I believe you're right. It is working. If they beat the brakes off of who they played, then yeah, it seems to be working, and I'm all for that.
Okay, very cool. So I want to just finish up with what the semifinals here look like. We got number 6 Penn State going up against Notre Dame, number 7 seeded Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. Okay, so that's coming up this Thursday, January 9th. Then we have number 5 Texas going up against number 8 Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Okay, so these are our last 2 bowl games, high-level bowl games for the year. But this is your 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those teams that had byes are all out. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. Penn State, Notre Dame. Who are you guys going with, Luca?
I like Penn State just because of the quarterback, Drew, throwing it up to Tyler Warren. I like that combo. They don't do the deep threats and the huge plays. He's a great little slot receiver, but he catches everything coming his way. I just think that Penn State has more weapons than Notre Dame does, and they had a tougher schedule. I think they got it.
Okay, that's fair. Billy, I was going to ask you about number 5 Texas versus number 8 Ohio State. I know it's not your forte. Any thoughts on what that game is?
I'm just gonna ride the train that all the higher seeds are winning. So Gonna go Ohio State.
Okay.
Ooh. May I
So-
please add one thing to that?
No.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I just need to see
All
if you
right,
actually
all right.
listen. So,
Texas has Ewers. He's from Ohio State. I think he shows up.
you think Quinn Ewers shows up?
I think he has that little Joe Burrow in him, like what Joe Burrow had in 2020, and pops off for 5 TDs.
You know what? I kind of hope you're right. I've always been a Texas fan. I just think, I mean, personally, I think Ohio State is an insurmountable offense. They got just weapons upon weapons, and their quarterback's not even that highly touted, but yet he can just sling the ball like nobody's, So I do think it's going to be Ohio State, but I don't want Notre Dame, because every time Notre Dame goes to the bowl game, the national championship, they get blown out. It's just like, hey, we're here, but right. So I do hope it's Ohio State, Penn State. Then it's a Big Ten national championship game, and for once, it's not an SEC team running away with it. So, gentlemen, thanks for talking NCAA with us. It's exciting, right? Like, this is the first year there's been a 12-team playoff. I think it's working. There are a lot of really good teams that are in there. Some teams missed out, which was surprising. But I do think it's working, and it's going to be an exciting finish to the NCAA football season. So, great thoughts, great talking points, gentlemen. Appreciate it. This is the fun part now. We actually get to debate a little bit. The three of us, all have different perspectives here, but we're going to hop back into the NFL because, again, the NFL is king. I'm just going to reiterate that time and time again because, man, it's just they're a money-making machine they got over there, and we keep coming back for more. So kudos to them. They have a product, sports entertainment. They're winning right now. So let's go back to them, though, because we do need to talk MVP. So the NFL season did just finish up, and it was a season for the ages. Whether it was Joe Burrow throwing for all he threw for, Lamar Jackson putting up better MVP numbers than last year's MVP numbers. You had Derrick Henry rejuvenating his career in Baltimore. Saquon runs for 2,000. It was a memorable year. You had two guys, Xavier McKinney with 8 interceptions. The guy from Detroit, I think, had 9. Just, again, an amazing NFL season. 17 games, so let's remember that in the back of our 17 versus 16. But let's start this MVP debate. And I want to start with Billy. Who is your MVP and why?
My MVP is Joe Burrow.
Big Dick Burrow slinging that monster
Big
around.
Burrow. And here's why. So the Bengals got off to a slow start at the beginning of the season. They were like, after their first 5 games, their record was 1-4. And to be fair, those games were against the Chiefs, Commanders, and Ravens that we all know now are really good, respectable teams. They're solid teams. Yep. They did fall to their season opener to the Patriots, which didn't really help. But I feel like all those games could have gone either way. And when you look at the final score, they lost by a touchdown or less in those games. So it's not like they got blown out. And if you look at most of their losses this season, that was the case. So, getting off to that slow start, I think the critics wrote Joe Burrow off and the Bengals early. And I saw some press conference or something that he even said himself that you have to usually win your division to be considered for the MVP. But if you look at what he did individually, and I said this in one of our previous episodes, the MVP race has just turned into a popularity contest.
Yes,
looking at team accolades, which team's winning their division, which team has the better record, which team are Super Bowl contenders. Everything is team. But last time I checked, the P in MVP means player.
Yeah.
Most valuable player. And Joe Burrow is the reason the Bengals season was able to be turned around and ended up being what it was, albeit not well, but they went from being 1-4 to being in the playoff hunt at that point. Granted, they didn't make the playoffs based on other teams winning, but after that slow start, they turned it around, and that's what I believe the true definition of a league MVP is. Without them, they would have been toast. And like you said earlier, T. West, the regular season, he threw for almost 5,000 yards, 40 something touchdowns. I think he had less than 10 interceptions. Quarterback rating was like, whatever, when I looked, was like 108 or something like that. It was a career year for him at this point. He put up better numbers and had a better completion percentage than both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So without him, the Bengals, in my opinion, were at the same levels the Browns, Panthers, Saints, whatever. And because of him, they're not. The game-winning drives, he put the team on his back. The dude has ice in his veins, and I think he deserves to be the MVP. End rant.
Great thoughts, great topics. And I'll just add to that because I agree 100% with everything you just said. The best season, I think, by an NFL player, a quarterback, whatever, for that person to not make the playoffs, right? Like I don't think we've ever seen something like this before. His season is a top 10 season out of 100 plus years of the NFL, and his team didn't make the playoffs. It's amazing to see that and think that. So Billy, like 1,100 points, boom. Luca, who is your MVP and why?
All right. Well, I'd like to do this ability a lot, and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong about your MVP choice. It's Lamar Jackson. It always has been, and it will be for the third time. Here's why. Let's go into stats. 4,100 pass yards, 41 touchdowns, only 4 picks. He has the highest QBR with the 77.5. Yes, I get it. His first MVP, it was an 83. Still just as efficient. He had 915 rush yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. The guy, what? Just throw this out there, guys. What wins games? Is it these stats or is it points? Trick question is points. He was third in the league by leading his team in points, only behind the Bills and the Lions. Bills and Lions. There was no Bengals. There's no whoever T. West is going to say. Don't care. It is Lamar Jackson. Both his other MVPs, he had 24 touchdown passes. He had 36 touchdown passes. Eclipsed both of those. 3,600 pass yards. 3,100 pass yards. Eclipsed both of those. Lower interceptions than before. He had 7, he had 6. The only thing he has better is in that very first one with QBR, and that's because he had to run the ball for 1,200 yards. He has Derek freaking Henry on his team. He doesn't need to go nuts running the ball, but still put up 915 yards rushing, and that's just scrambling around. I mean, we all know they're going to draft offensive linemen now. That's all they need. They're right there, and it's Lamar freaking Jackson. He's the MVP. End of case.
You feel good about that with your Lamar Jackson underwear on that you're probably wearing? Like, you feel good about that?
Oh, you know it. Hey, Lamar, if you listen to this, Lamar, just send over the cape, send over everything. I'll wear it all.
I guarantee
Only
he's
on his
not
team.
listening to this. I guarantee he's not listening.
But someday, right? Someday. Now,
Right.
Luca, I cannot argue with you. I mean, the fact that he has had a better season than any of his MVP seasons is amazing to think about. But his seasons have also been done before. And he had Derrick Henry. Was he the most valuable player on his team? I don't know. I don't know who the backup is in Baltimore. So would they have won as many games? No. But I think there's a little bit of an argument against Lamar due to the fact that he may not even be the best player on his team.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. Think about that one for a second. Now, Luca, I know you don't care who I'm going to pick. If I was an NFL MVP voter, right, like my vote would be going to Saquon Barkley. It was a toss up between 2 guys. All right, one of them was Josh Allen. One of them was Saquon Barkley. I'm going to go Saquon because he had another season. There's only been 9 2,000-yard seasons in the history of the NFL. So he had 2,005 yards, and he did this in 16 games, which I want to – because if he would have played that 17th game and gotten the record, there should have been an asterisk by it. But because anyway, Eric Dickerson did it in 16 and got 2,105. Saquon got 2,005 yards. new team, new system, new offense, right? Like offensive line that no longer has a Jason Kelsey on it, right? So they had to replace that piece as well. He came in and completely transformed the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, they were a team that was kind of falling apart at the end. Coach, he still might hate the rest of the team. I don't know. But, he came in and kind of transcended that locker room, changed things, brought them together. That O-line is just clicking. So the other thing with Saquon is 358 rushing attempts, 345, sorry, 2,005 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns. He ranks right now number 8 on the all-time single season record list. Now I'm going to throw out some other names for you quick. O.J. Simpson, 1973, ran for 2,003 yards, MVP of the league. Okay. Terrell Davis back in 1998, 2,008 yards, MVP of the league. The most recent where we had, so Derrick Henry, who we just talked about, ran in 2020 for 2,027 yards, was not the MVP. That was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had a season again for the record books and won the MVP, of course. But the most recent MVP that we've had for someone who broke 2,000 yards was Adrian Peterson, and that was back in 2012. He ran for 2,097 yards and missed by 8 yards, breaking the record. But MVP. Go back a few years behind that, Barry Sanders. He ran for 2,053 yards, MVP. This kind of a season, the way this player transcends their team and just creates this aura about them is why I think Saquon should be the MVP. Something that we have only seen 9 times in the history of professional football. It's just not done, So the fact that he 2,000 yards, that team is the 2 seed. They're in the playoffs, won their division. All those things that check mark for most valuable position, most valuable player, most valuable team, whatever you want to call it. But just looking at his body of work, what he meant to that team, I don't think the backups would have given them the type of production that they got. And I don't think the Eagles would have had to have relied more on Jalen Hurts. And I think that would have been a different situation. I think the Commanders would have won that division had Saquon Barkley not joined the Philadelphia Eagles. That's why I think he's the most valuable player. So, end rant. I love all of our guys here. Go ahead, Luca.
You know what? I kind of got to agree with put some respect on these running backs. I mean, Saquon is the best player on that team. He's better than Hurts. He's better than Brown. So I like your argument an awful lot, but put some respect on these guys' names for going out there, taking all these hits, doing a reverse hurdle.
That was epic. People.
And yeah, Saquon's a beast, but yeah, it's still Lamar.
Okay. So I think we all made a really, really good what do you want to call them? Discussion arguments for the guys that we've picked. Now I do want to just touch on this because I think we kind of know the MVP is probably going to be Josh Allen. I think the media has picked their MVP darling for this year. Now, don't get me wrong. He's had a great season. Another, I don't know the stats. I didn't look that closely. My bad.
He's like 26-6 with like 3,000 pass yards. It's nothing like over the top, but he had 12 rushing touchdowns. Right. And he has no weapons at all.
So I really think that the media has kind of deemed him the MVP. I'm hoping there's at least some discrepancies. Not like it's not unanimous. There needs to be a bunch of people, and I hope they're all voting different. I hope they see the landscape of the NFL and the MVP is so wide open now. There's so many great players. So that's my hope, is that they go that route. All in all, though, great arguments, guys. I appreciate the feedback. I hope everyone listening Actually, here's a little plug. Let us know what you're thinking. Who should the NFL MVP be? Let us know. Give us an argument. And if we get something, maybe we'll bring it up and we'll talk about it later. So we do need to transition though. Finally, I think it is time for the what to know segment. So this is just again a little tidbit, something we want you to know. And we're gonna start with Billy. What do you want us to know going into looking back, going into this weekend? What do you think?
Mine is a thought / discussion as a loser of 2 fantasy football championships. Mine is more of a thought. One I got blown out in, courtesy of Ryan. Congratulations. And the other I lost by 7/10 of a point, courtesy of Bruce.
Yeah, that hurts.
Ouch. Such a great game to watch.
No. But the question I was asked was, which is worse? Being pumped to make it to the chip just to get the brakes beaten off of me and be like, oh, man, that just to get blown out, or watch your lead slowly dwindle down during the last game of the week's games during garbage time where there were 5 to 6 different plays that didn't go in my favor. That just one of those plays went in my favor. I'd be your new champion. I think you already know where I stand. It's the losing by 7/10 of a point. That sucks. So my thought is the latter is easier to accept my loss to Ryan because from the noon kickoff games, it was already a done deal because he just had a better team. Bruce, I feel like I had the better team, should have won. He ran the table like the 2014 Packers. Congrats to both those guys. I secretly hate you guys deep down, but I'm going to be back next year. I'm running back. So that's my what to know segment, is that I'm still hurting on the inside a little bit.
All right. We, having watched all that happen in our league, I was hurting for you just to see how that played out. So and if it were Bruce, if he had lost, I would be hurting for him too. But 0.7 points, that's rough, man.
I would rather lose to Bruce than Luca, so I'm okay with how it went.
Yes.
Yes,
speaking of Luca, what do you want us to know about?
I really wanted to dive into like the conspiracy corner. I really wanted to investigate this whole Jordan Love Toyota-thon. I really thought the NFL was going to investigate it too, and it was going to be this huge deep dive. Turns out he just got that picture with the Toyota-thon shirt. The guy drives a Tesla and a Ford Mustang GT. So all of that's been ruled out. One fun fact about it, though, this year, he had a 10-to-1 ratio for touchdowns to interceptions.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not as deep as what we thought it would be. It's not anything special.
Sure, it was 10-to-1.
Yeah, he had 10 touchdowns to 1 interception during the Toyota-thon sale.
Oh, during Toyota-thon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Jordan Love?
Yeah. And he doesn't drive a Toyota.
Probably drives an automatic V6 Mustang. Let's get real.
Yeah, let's hold on here. There'd be too much pressure coming at him if it was stick. So,
right,
oh my God, the blitz.
The Tesla, it just drives itself most of the time.
Yeah. I want so badly to be a Jordan Love fan. And we've had some off-air discussions about this, and I do firmly believe right now that I want to call this a sophomore slump, even though it's year 5. And to Luca, your point, it wasn't even a bad season, stats wise, but you could see the regression in handling pressure, handling blitz packages, throwing off his back foot, always throwing into triple coverage, not being able to lead his receivers. These are just things that you're seeing more of that regression. And you hope that over time and going into next year, he gets through this and can excel. Not that he hit his ceiling when the NFL didn't know who he was. Right. So I'm going to jump into my quick what to know because I'm still kind of hopeful. But just going to reference some script writing. The script writers are at it again. Just saw a new theory out there that this year's playoffs, both 2 seeds, the Bills and the Vikings, they're the 2 seeds. They're both 0-4 in Super Bowls. Colors of the Super Bowl this year, red and yellow, both secondary colors for those teams. Red for the Bills, yellow for the Vikings. So you got your colors. You got two teams that are 0-4 in the Super Bowl, both number 2 seeds. Could you just copy and paste any more? And then you throw one in the Super Bowl, and guess what? Somebody wins. So to me, you got your MVP most likely with a Josh Allen going up against the Vikings. But this is the year that finally Buffalo takes it. So script writers, I don't know if they're getting lazy, and again, they're copying and pasting from boom to boom to boom to boom, or if this is the year that one of those two teams actually wins. But that's my what to know. If the NFL really is just getting lazy, they've already told us who's going to be in the Super Bowl and most likely who's going to win. So
Now you're talking 2 seed as far as best record, right? Just so we get the clarification out there, not playoff seeding.
playoff seeding. They're both
Playoff seeding.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You're right. Records. My bad.
Records. Yeah. Just wanted to get that thrown out there. I knew what you meant.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me I'm stupid because I know I am. Nope, that was a good call out. So yeah, anyway, that's what I got for you. So this leads us to trivia.
Dun dun dun.
Is it that time already?
It is that time.
is.
While you pull it up, I'm just going to put a little plug in right now that Conspiracy Corner will return. However, I think it's going to be in a different format, and it might be its own little segment outside of the burp. I think it might be its own thing. So we are going to continue that just in a different format. So be on the lookout for Conspiracy Corner. Back to this, the burp. Looking forward to a trivia here. Does anyone remember the score? I think it's
9-6.
9-6. I did save that. So the last one.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Same game.
Got
Same
it.
rules, back and forth. Do you need a reminder or are you good?
Nope. Good. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. T West, you are still in the lead. You want the first question or are you going to pass it off?
I don't give up possessions. Let's go.
Okay. Question number 1. Name the only NFL team whose location and team name begin with the same 3 letters.
Oh. The team name and the location begin with the same 3 letters. Okay. How much time do I have? I feel like I need the
Where's that
I need the
buzzer?
clicker. Oh man. Yeah, I don't have the buzzer today.
Lucas,
not
stop
Jacksonville
Googling the
Jaguars.
answer.
He is absolutely good looking.
Oh no, hands are free. Hands are free. I'm just thinking. I'm got the map in my head.
Okay, so I don't know. In the fairness of time, I don't know. I was going to say Jacksonville Jaguars, but that's only the first 2 letters. So
Yeah, it's close. It's close. Not location wise, but J. Okay, Luca, what do you got?
Stealing it. Seattle Seahawks. What?
It is the Seattle Seahawks.
okay.
Start. Hey, I got a point this time.
That is.
Yep.
You're off to a better start than you ever been. Congratulations. And now you get question number 2.
Nice.
Which NFL team has neither played in nor hosted the Super Bowl?
Detroit.
No, they hosted.
They did. Oh shoot.
Okay, T West.
So neither played nor hosted. Okay, so there's a handful of teams. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is not the answer I had, but that does probably make sense as well.
Who did you have? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Maybe
Makes sense.
Maybe Jacksonville has hosted. I mean, they are.
Yeah, they've hosted.
Have they hosted?
Have they hosted?
Mm-hmm.
Who played in that one? That'd be a good another trivia question. Who played in that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We're back to T West.
Yeah, I'm struggling today. Today
All
is
right.
not my day.
We're shifting to baseball. I know this is the NFL's King episode, but I had to throw a couple in there.
Oh, that's fine.
Who holds the record for most stolen bases in MLB history?
Ricky Henderson.
I threw that in one there for Ricky Henderson, RIP.
R.I.P. Ricky Henderson.
Yep.
Well, never. That is a record that'll never be broken.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I'm glad it won't be broken.
Right.
That guy was such a talent.
Oh man.
All right, Luca, you ready?
Yes, sir.
What year was the 3-point line added for NBA games?
It was in the 1900s. You know that. 1964.
No.
Hmm.
Key West?
I'm actually going to go a little later in time, and I think it's 1977.
Ooh, you're really close. Both wrong.
Wow.
Really?
1979.
Ah, I
Really?
knew it. Okay, I knew
That
it.
late? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Dang.
All right. Who's up?
Wow.
Who's
I
up?
think
now?
Luca's up.
I always lose track. Luca.
Question 4.
Well, no, that Luca got 4 because he said 64. T West, you said.
Oh yeah, I was trying to
77.
steal it. So yeah, this would be
yeah,
that.
yeah. All right, T West. Besides the number 23 and 45, what number jersey did Michael Jordan wear for one game while on the Chicago Bulls?
12.
Yes. Nice.
Dang.
Do you know
That's
the
a good
story
one.
behind that?
I do
Yep.
know. So his uniform was actually I think it was an away game, right? And his uniform was stolen, so they had to quick grab something that they had in their yeah.
Yep.
I don't. So
Yep.
I think that's the story. I know. I don't know if there's more to it, but
That is the story, but do you know who they're playing?
Yep.
I'll let Luke answer that one. I don't know that one.
Do I get a point for it?
No,
You
no,
ain't
you
getting
don't.
shit for that. No.
It's the Orlando Magic.
That's wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. Wow. I actually thought that was the hardest question on here, so I'm glad you got it right. Okay.
Okay.
Luca, what two teams played in Super Bowl 41 that featured Prince as the halftime act?
That's when they're in Minnesota. The new stadium.
Are you sure?
Oh no, Prince was passed away. I'm thinking about the Minnesota one that was recently, where Prince was still alive in
Super Bowl 41.
41. Let's see, that would have been. Damn, why can't I think of it? Because I remember the one before that. Was it?
Bruh.
I'm gonna say Saints versus Colts.
No.
Oh man.
Okay, so I think I'm wrong. I think I'm going to steal. I think I'm wrong, but it might be close. Does this actually have something to do with a field that we talked about earlier?
Why are you asking for hints? Get out of
Okay,
here.
all right, fine. Okay, so
Yeah. Get out of
I
here.
want to say that it was Pittsburgh versus Seattle in Ford Field at Detroit.
No.
No,
Both
okay.
incorrect.
All right.
Colts Bears.
Colts Bears.
Oh, see, I knew it was Colts, but I couldn't remember.
I know when
It
you
was
said that, I was
Saints,
just like, "Oh, he's so close." He's
I
so
know.
close. All right.
It was the one that he won, not the one that he lost.
So
I
let's
was
see.
thinking about that onside kick. at
Yeah.
halftime.
So let's see. Luca, you have 1 correct. T West, you have 2 correct
All right.
so
What?
far. Bonus question again for that sweet 2 points. Who is the only NBA player who has averaged a triple double 4 times in their career?
Can I just Russell Westbrook?
Yep, that is it.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Luca?
Yeah.
You didn't know
was an
that?
easy one. Yeah. Because
You
you
didn't know
surpassed Oscar Robinson.
All right. I feel like I'll give you both a point for that.
I mean, if you want me to type it in, I could.
I think we should just like blurt it out. Like as soon as we know, blurt it out.
That's a good way
Okay.
to do that. Okay, we can do that. All right. So what do we have here? We have Chris
9
is
to
at
12.
4-3
Oh.
today.
Oh, no. 9 to 13. Ugh. It's getting worse.
Yep, it is 9 to 13. Not looking good for you, Luca. You might have to buy that hat box or whatever it is.
Right.
Luckily, we're going up to 14. So first one to 14
we changed that now?
right now. Executive
Like
decision.
literally right now.
It's the best decision ever.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah, no, thank you, everyone. That actually does conclude Burp episode 4. I think this is a great episode. Obviously, NFL is king. We everything right now, though, football is king. Everything is in the playoffs. Just such an exciting time to be around, too, right? Like, you're going to get the absolute best football played at each and every level, and it's going to be an amazing time. Super Bowls are coming up here pretty quick. National championship coming up here pretty quick. Just an overall great time to be a football fan. So glad we got to do this Football is King episode. Really appreciate it. Gentlemen, I'm glad you had a good holiday. I am super excited about what 2025 is going to bring for the Burp. I think we got a lot of cool stuff going on. You're going to see a lot more short little things kind of popping up as we're going to talk about what's going on daily. And I cannot be more excited about the future and the future of this podcast and this program and getting to be able to talk just Wisconsin sports with you guys on something called the Burp, right? Like we just belch out what we can. So
The first ever belch officially.
first belch on the
Episode
Burp.
How beautiful.
Yeah,
Right.
no, appreciate it, guys. Everybody out there, thank you for listening. We really, really do appreciate the time. Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know where we're wrong. Fact check us. You can tell me I'm fat. You can tell me I'm stupid. I'll totally get it. No big deal. Looking forward though to the interaction that we're going to hopefully start having with people, because ultimately we just love talking sports. Guys, final thoughts.
I want to say go Pack Go. I really hope they pull off something. I really hope Jordan Love shows up, and next week we all sit there with a foot in our mouth.
I would love it. I would take it.
I'm okay with that.
Yep, absolutely.
Bruce and Ryan can kick rocks.
Guys.
Especially Ryan. The guy had 2 teams. Come on.
All right, everybody. Appreciate it. Be
Cheers
safe.
to everybody out there, and thank you for watching, guys.
Be kind to each other. Peace out.
Right.
Tuning into the Burp. Let's get it. Let's get it, get it. You did it, 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 get it, good. You've been into the Burp. Let's get it. Let's get it.